Hold on to your heads, boys and girls. On this show, we've talked about some pretty insane concepts, right? We've played supports as carries and carries as supports. We've built Bloodstone on Medusa and Echo Saber on everyone. But this is truly the first guy that I'm actually sort of scared to bring you. It's crazy. It's unprecedented. It's support Slardar. Okay, after a bit of research, I've discovered that support Slardar is very much a thing, but not my support Slardar. Oracle's a support, Chen's a support, but they're played in a drastically different way, you know? One is an item-dependent healer, and the other rushes Mask of... Oh boy, we're not there yet, whoops. But the same goes for Slardar. You can play him 2 different ways, you can play him 7 different ways. Swap one early game item for another, and boom, we've got a divergent timeline materializing in front of us. It's like when you get enough kills early as a CM that you can afford Midas, but that gateway drug makes you go, well, I've already got this, I should get a Dagon next. And 3 weeks later, we find her in a back alley making low-quality Dota Cinema collaborations for her next fix. Oh wait, that was me. Dark times. Slardar is one of the most popular heroes in sub 2k. I mean, it's pretty much a necessity, right? Ever since that patch where they banned people from buying detection unless they were higher than 3k, Slardar is the only... Oh wait, they didn't do that? People just willingly don't buy it even though they need it? Weird. Weird. Well, anyway, Slardar counters invis, you know that, counters invis, low armor glass cannons, heroes who are really mobile, a hero like Clinks. But he's also secretly a pretty good anti-man fighter. Honestly, Slardar's a hero who's pretty upfront in what he does. I think you guys would probably already know this, right? He's countered by people who dispel amp damage. Corrosive haze. Pleh, pleh. I hate change. I'm calling it amp damage, I'm calling his bash, I'm calling his sprint, and I'm calling him a girl. Her a girl. She's got that lure. Only girl anglerfish have that. Although come to think of it, no gender of anglerfish has opposable thumbs or big meaty shoulders or teeth underneath their jaw. So maybe we're arguing semantics, right? It feels like every patch that goes by, Slardar's 4 levels of Bash of the Deep get pushed further and further into his skill progression. It used to go Crush, Bash, Crush. These days you don't even get a value point, which is actually something I appreciate a lot. Even when Slardar was a carry, I was advocating Sprint over Bash, although at the time I was 2k and probably didn't have the best grasp of the game. But hey, a broken clock is right twice a day, unless it's a digital clock, which... You know, I don't think I've ever stayed up long enough to experience 8888. Guardian Spirit has a 0 cast animation, 0 backswing, and doesn't cancel channels. Neat, right? Now you can sprint while TPing, I guess. More important is it makes you phase for the entire 12-second duration, and gives you 44% movement speed. So if you built movement speed over 386 movement speed, it's overkill with sprint activated. The drawback is you take 15% extra damage, which is sort of big. It even amps damage your own allies too, but most of that is emotional damage, which can be countered by donating to my Patreon at the $20 tier and requesting I make a guide on the only way to play against crippling sadness. First step, uninstall Dota. Slithering Crush is exactly what it says in the endgame description, right? The only unmentioned thing is that it does a 4-second slow, not 2. The stun is 2 seconds. The slow being 2 seconds would be completely nullified by it, you know? A 4-second duration with an 8-second cooldown gives, 50% uptime. The best uptime for an AoE stun in the game. Bash of the Deep, more like Bash of the Deeps. Am I right? Like deeps. DPS, deeps. It does a lot of fucking damage per second, is what I'm saying, okay? 25% chance to bash for 1 second and add 120 damage to that hit. And it has no internal cooldown. So yes, with astronomical amounts of luck, you can keep someone stunned indefinitely. But astronomical luck is a bit of a misnomer, right? The universe exists due in no small part to billions of amazingly lucky occurrences. We all exist in this place in time because of amazing chance. Mathematically, we're unlikely to exist. And yet we do. So astronomical luck in that sense would really translate to something that seems impossible but is 100% going to happen. This is all, of course, if you don't believe in a higher power creating it all meticulously. But if that's the case, the American class is way too overpowered if you compare it to spawning in the Africa starting area. What sort of developer could allow that crazy imbalance in the game for that long? Jeez man, I can't wait until that goddamn Revelations patch comes out already. And Corrosive Haze gives True Sight negative 20 amp to any unit on a 5-second cooldown. It amps damage dealt to that person. Hey! You know what? That would make a good ability name for it. Corrosive Haze is a bit too vague, you know? So far we've talked about drug use, predeterminism, religion, astronomy... Did we ever talk about how to play Slardar? Well, yeah, we might as well do it here, right? I haven't mentioned it yet, but we immediately open up to a roaming role and act that out with Tango's Clarity, Smoke, and Boots right off the bat. Level 1, you can gank mid. Level 2, you can gank mid and pretty much guarantee a kill. And then we start to diverge. Boots of choice are not treads, they're not tranks, they're arcane boots. What? Yeah, dude, Arcanes. They sport the highest win rate of any non-travels boots. They sustain a team in a way that Tranks just can't. Tranks these days gives HP and more movement speed. I'd understand if it was back when they gave armor. Yeah, it makes sense. But right now we have a talent that does Tranks' job, and the move speed is a bit redundant with Sprint, especially when it's lost on first hit, which you're going to be taking for amped damage with Sprint on. But the biggest thing is, Arcanes actively helps get that blink. How many Slardar games have you played slaving away hitting the same jungle creep for 2 minutes, desperately hoping you don't get ganked and lose your 2000 gold? You don't even have to answer that. I know, I've been there. Arcanes brings on Crush Spam. Crush Spam brings on Farm. Farm brings on a reliable way to score that sought after blink. And then why stop there? Arcanes breaks down into Lotus. You can get Solar Crest, you can get Halberd and Yules, and enter that comfortable spot of being this 10-pronged utility machine. They have a hard-hitting carry. Oh, cool. Buy a Halberd. They have an uncatchable Brood. Oh, cool. Buy some Dusts and a Fort Staff. They have 2 Braces. Well, cool. Let's buy 3. But obviously at this point in the journey between 7.06 and Dueling Fates, you can see I'm a little short on material. So I hope you indulge me in this and the final 2 videos that get even weirder and more tangential? That'd be a good word for it. On the last 2 days. See you then. Hi there. This episode was brought to you by Fuxia Fucking Luxley, Freekill, Chris, 1996, Gore Rocker, The Adam Sandler Attack Crab, Elahu Dankbar, Lucas Cucone, Michael Robb, Mr. Revolut, Post, Shadow Sweetheart, Jeff Miller, Ashen Rabbit, Kim Nelson, haha, I saw these guys a whole day ago, I'm Pickle Rick, KKK, oh no, that one guy who jungles Tinker and everybody else, Mr. Magic aka The Tones, Kaiser Wilhelm, Hubert motherfucking Cummerdale, Raphael Silva, Frieda Blondor, Shiva's Guard, and don't worry, it's a male nipple so it's okay, Red, English Breakfast Tea, Digital Dark, Pro-S, Shandor Chabar, Orange Filter Sky, Procrastination Studios, Leonard, Yabis McGee, Soranok, Jolly Jew Giant, Carbon Bond, XT, Christian Rudder, Milacot, Average Soul, Scar, Apache Mari wearing a headwear neckwear nicknamed as Hatcrafter, Rudger Mafleur, Hi I'm Eric and I'm a filthy fucking slag first. Oh. Haha. Jimbol, the Son of God, Tsunami Shadow, Punith P, Rit Mitchell, Exato, Whimsy Shire Magic, Wagwan, Pifting, What's Your BBM Pin, Grumman, Immy Dies Alone, Kig Gizzard, and the Shitty Wizard, Zeno Penumbra, Sleepers for the Week, Herpa Derpa Dooda Derp, Swaggity Booty, Beep Boop D, Tugs McBoat, Slap a Leg of Lamb on the side for it, Redalus, Kerosene, 15, and the rest.